Today on Drawbli, I am drawing
A serpent.
a snake. Click that subscribe button
my gosh.
if you are new around here.
And comment below with other ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
So one of our prompts for this past week to do some new drawings, some new paintings was snake, it was serpent.
Yes.
But of course, I was actually gonna make him really cute and like maybe put a top hat on him, but I was liking the more serious snake direction that I ended up going. So starting off here with some beautiful sketchy lines, gotta get in that really simple sketch. One thing I've been playing around with lately that I've been enjoying is being really light with my initial sketch, because I find that I'll just grab my pencil, turn my size up all the way, and just like push really hard and just like initially go with that. And it makes it really hard to go back later for the rough sketch and like kind of correct stuff or fix things without erasing. But starting off really light has, I forget where I heard that, and I feel like I've known about it for a long time, but I've just never done it, and it has helped a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. I was learning about that in a Lowish tutorial a while ago.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I talked about it on Drawbli. You want to know where you heard it from me?
From you?
Yeah.
From me. I hear everything from you.
Yeah. We're just an echo chamber of what we've told each other, coming back to each other and saying, I don't know where I heard this. And the other person saying, wow, that's news to me because you've already forgotten.
Then I'm going back in with the classic syrup brush, one of my favorite brushes. I don't use it for lines too often, but I did here, and pretty much all my initial lines though kind of go away by the time I start painting. I like to paint over top of my lines, and then if I do put any lines back in, I'll like use them as like rim lights or anything like that. So I definitely feel more confident in my process and like what I'm doing, but overall still pretty new. I mean, we haven't even hit the 1 year mark here on Drawbli yet. We have a few months before that happens.
Yeah, I know, and look at how much you've improved.
How much we both have improved.
Yes, it's so exciting. We have a lot of, like, looking back, it's crazy. I can go back to some of our early videos. Oh, shout out to the worst one I ever did, which was the Ice Queen.
The Ice Queen.
Oh my gosh, I still remember. I was just like crashing and burning.
The Gucci episode.
So hard. Oh my gosh.
The Gucci episode was absolutely my worst episode by far.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There I was sitting there like drawing like this is going great, and looking back, I'm like, oh, Abby. But we did things so differently then. We were actively talking and drawing at the same time versus playing back our recorded works that we did.
Yeah, so we can actually focus while we create and then focus while we talk about what we're doing.
Guess what? Focusing is important.
It turns out, yeah.
I love how you do backgrounds, by the way. So simple, but so like impactful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like it.
Just grab a big brush and throw them back there. I used to use that brush for everything, but I find
the flat brush?
Flat or square brush or something like that. I don't remember. It's the one that's like the rectangle shape.
I also used to use it a lot more than I do now.
Yeah, so I don't like, and I remember hearing this, I think, not from you, a long time ago from old painting tutorials. I used to watch, way back before I even got into digital sculpting, I used to watch a ton of speed paints and digital painting stuff on YouTube. Gosh, like over a decade ago. And one of the things that I remember hearing and not really understanding why was talking about when you paint digitally, you shouldn't use opacity on your brush. Like you should only use like a size. If you're going to use like a hard round brush or something like the syrup brush, you never want to use both opacity and size at the same time because it's really hard to control. So I pretty much only stick with a size modifier on my brush, and I mean that's really about it. Like if you're going to do opacity, or if I'm going to do opacity, I'll just use layers and kind of fade it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll like blend stuff with opacity that way, but I find that it's really hard to control just opacity on the brush. Maybe like watercolor brushes would be better at that, but not for me.
Yeah, the only place I can remember seeing somebody recommending using opacity was somebody doing some very fine refining details on some very soft aspects of rendering.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe like later on in the process, I might do that.
But it was a very detailed digital portrait and the most subtle changes. But when you say that, that is the only time I can think of seeing somebody going in specifically using a lowered opacity brush and recommending that. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I love how saturated this is. It really pops, but it's also not like overwhelming. I feel like you have tons of room still to play and to, what's the word? Accentuate things. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely play around with everything that I have a little bit here. You see me messing with some blending modes there every once in a while, but like I was saying earlier, I don't really do that too often. So just trying to get in there, paint some shadows, paint some lights, have some fun.
Yes.
I really enjoy doing animals. For a couple different reasons. Like if you're looking for something to paint, if you're like or draw or whatever, and you're like really interested in doing people or portraits, a lot of the time if you're at a newer level like we are, you're gonna have a rough time and it's not gonna turn out looking so great. But with animals, when you're at that kind of earlier stage, that beginner level like we are, you're gonna have a lot more fun with the final result, because even though a lot of stuff is gonna be off, it's not like a human face where if something's slightly off, it's gonna be immediately like, whoa, that looks like a freaking alien.
Yeah.
At least here, like it can be off by quite a bit and still look pretty good.
Animals are a lot more forgiving in that way. I love how you did his scales with your original pass. I like the lines you're doing now, but with the stamping of that brush.
Yeah.
What would be really cool, this made me think of looking at your reference and your stamping. I like how your stamping turned out, but I wonder if there's a way to modify the direction the stamp goes in, like in the settings of the brush. If you duplicated that brush and messed with the settings, because then you could have maybe get it to like go horizontal.
With the natural flow of the scale,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There is a way. I think you can also just turn your canvas, and if you rotate your canvas, it will rotate the stamp of the brush.
Oh.
That is another way that you can do that, yeah. But I didn't care that much. I was working pretty fast. I needed my reference image visible, so... Oh no, I did sample colors on this one for this image in particular. I did a lot of different stuff to just kind of get some random texture. I wasn't gonna sit here and paint meticulously every single scale on this snake.
Absolutely not.
One, that sounds horrible, and two, nobody cares. Like for this kind of stuff, like with sculpture, it's a little hard to like just create something messy that does feel like scales or some kind of repetitive pattern, but what's so cool, man, 2D is just amazing because you can just kind of hint at something and have it feel not even good enough, but like sometimes even better than if you were to sit there and paint like every little detail.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think that's why we're so drawn sometimes to sketches and sketch work. It's that hinting that's so, I don't know why it's so attractive, but it is.
Yeah, it's interpretive in some form or fashion. I really like Marco Bucci's approach to painting a lot of the time, where he will just use random brushes and absolutely like just random colors, random values, random hues, etc. to just like slap something on the canvas and start with that, and he'll do that throughout his painting process of just grabbing random brushes. To great effect, and I've been trying to play around with that a lot more. I forget what this brush in particular is called, but it adds like a lot of random variation for color. It's the one that I was using for like the bright purples, yellows, reds there. Evergreen or something like that, I don't remember, but it's just like a really organic brush, and you can get some cool textures by playing around with that. Something that I really have enjoyed doing a lot more recently.
Yeah, I love that when you find something new that you know you haven't mastered yet, but you're exploring it and using it in your art more and more and loving the effect. That's me with my next few pieces of art.
Oh yeah? Are we gonna see a lot of the same tools?
Yeah, a lot of the same ideas, I think.
No, that's cool. I'm excited to see. I think one of the last things that I'm doing here is just cleaning up the outline of my snake because there are a lot of those rough sketch lines on the outside. And I'm like, oh, we got to get rid of some of those.
Yeah.
Clean this image up just a little. Even though it is like really...
It turned out so good.
Oh, thank you. Even though it's still like, really messy in general and kind of nasty, I still need to clean it up a little.
No, it's amazing. I would be very proud if I created this snake. This is very, very good.
Such neck, very slither.
I have also created a serpent for a future Drawbli recording, and you got me beat, Ben. Yours is really, really good.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Got to go in at the end, of course, do some adjustments and, amplify your shadows, your highlights.
Love that pass.
Finish up
so
your snack.
satisfying. Well, wow, your final snack looks just incredible. I absolutely love it. You should be very proud because that is so exciting. The colors, the textures, the lines, the form.
All the things.
You have done an amazing job here. Congratulations, you've done it. You're an artist in the 2D realm.
Wow,
you
finally.
can say that now.
Finally,
you made it.
Well, hey, if you want to see more art, click that subscribe button.
And comment below with other ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
And this is the part where we say
goodbye.
Hiss.
No, hiss. Oh my gosh. You're a mean one, Mr. Hiss.
What? Sometimes I don't understand how your brain goes from A to Z.
It's all over the place. There is no lines. It's all concentric circles.